Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We will begin shortly. I'm just going to give people a chance to join in. I hope everyone is having a great day, and if you guys can hear me clearly, that I hope that's the case. And we will begin again. We're just going to give it a few minutes, give people a chance to join. I see people coming in right now. Good morning to everyone. Good afternoon. And just want to confirm if you can. Someone could just type in the chat that they can hear me. That would be great. If you're just joining, we'll begin shortly. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. And looks like we can hear you. Awesome. I'm coming through loud and clear. All right. Hey, good morning, Clint. Thanks, George. Good morning. Good to see you. Okay. So it looks like we've got quite a few. Oh, wow. Great. Got lots of people. This is awesome. Okay. So we're going to get started. Welcome to this Wednesday's Facebook Live. The topic for today is actually 5 ways to generate leads with Market Snapshot. And this is a redo from the canceled event last week. I apologize. I actually was quite ill last week and was unable to present. So excited to bring this one back. And this is actually really timely because, we've made significant changes to our Market Snapshot solution and continue to do so. So it feels like the time is right to just do a recap and a redo around how can you leverage, Market Snapshot, to generate inquiries and generate opportunities for yourself. And that's really what the focus of today's session is. So if this is your first time attending, just a couple things. The idea is these sessions are super collaborative. Please type in some questions in the chat, and I do answer every question as much as possible. So, this is not just me speaking for the whole time. I want, you guys to engage. So with that being said, we're going to get started. Okay, so, one thing that we have to really look at is lots of people, when you look at the consumers today, right, everyone wants to know what's going on, right? There's a lot of change, a lot of change happening in all our lives in the daily life, and there's lots of change to our lives in terms of personal with jobs, opportunity, things like that. Like there's just a lot of change happening around us. But the one thing that people really want to know is how does it affect me, right? And you look at the stock market, it's affected all of us, good, bad, indifferent. Real estate's no different. And as a homeowner, I'm not looking to buy or sell anytime soon. Okay. But the one thing I am interested in is what's going on around me. I want to know, how much that house down the street sold for. I want to know how long that house took to sell. I want to know how much was it listed at and what did it actually go for, right? I want to know that difference. And then kind of knowing what's going on around me, like that is super relevant to me and super important. So you have this tool with Market Snapshot where you can provide that. Because I'm interested in that, that means that other people are interested in that, right? And that is an opportunity that you have is to dangle a carrot, which is, hey, I as your real estate professional have this information available. It's how do you let people know that one, you have it, and and how do you leverage it to get people to actually engage with you, right? The strangers that you don't know, right? How do we get them? So that's what we're going to go through today. Is really talk about how do you dangle the carrot of Market Snapshot and what are some areas you can do that to draw in people to you. Okay. So another thing really important, consumers love Market Snapshot. At the same time, our customers love Market Snapshot. And the reason for that is, a typical email open rate is like you'd be happy to get 3%, right, for an automated email. Our average monthly with Market Snapshot has an open rate of 25%. I mean, that is far exceeding any other email you could send out. And why is that? Well, it has to do with the value. How many emails do you get a day where you don't even look at it? You just hit archive or delete, right? We do it all the time. And that is that's just the reality because there's no value, right? And Market Snapshot, though I just mentioned it, it's valuable. Why? Because I, as a consumer, whether I'm buying, selling, I'm a homeowner, whether I'm not, I want to know what's going on in the real estate market, right? And Leah said it best, and I don't know if Leah's here today on watching and participating, but she's like, I've had clients jump on selling their house because of Market Snapshot. If you can sell my house for that much, bring your for sale sign. I mean, how many homeowners are out there right now not realizing how strong the market is? How many homeowners are out there right now that, hey, they've been on the fence for a while because they're just not sure, and then there's probably a lot of fear that maybe it's not the right time. That's where something like Market Snapshot can really help you educate your, the real estate consumer. So let's get into strategies. First one is, and this one is the most popular with all of our customers. Look, Facebook ads and Facebook in general is a great way, to really target people. And a strategy that is super popular across all of our customers is creating an ad on Facebook about, hey, like there's an example, like the real estate market's hot here in Rain City. How much do you want to know how much homes are selling for? Click here. And this is just an example ad, and I'm sure some of you have some ads that you may be running on Facebook that you've used, but this is an opportunity because Facebook can potentially have a low cost of entry, where you could spend, 5, 10, 20, 30 bucks, a week, a day, whatever your budget is. Everyone has their own budget where you can target people demographically, right? And depending on what your goal is, if, my goal was to get this ad in front of homeowners, what is the demographic of homeowners, and that's where like Facebook allows you to really build an audience and then put a relevant ad. And who wouldn't want to know how much their home is selling for? If people ran into you in the Starbucks line, and you're wearing your realtor badge and your real estate name tag, or the people know you're in real estate, what's the number one question they're going to ask you? How's the market? Right? How often do people ask you that question? How's the market? And if they're asking that question, shouldn't you run an ad around that? Right? Wondering how much homes are selling for in Dallas? Wondering how much your home is worth? Right? Wondering how the real estate market is doing in, Orlando? That's where you can play off of the fact that all these people want to know how the market is doing, and you dangle that carrot because you have this thing called Market Snapshot that can really keep them informed in an automated way. So the first one is to create a Facebook ad, leverage Facebook and post it. And then, the question will become, okay, where do I drive this to? Okay, so where you drive this to, and I'm going to flip here, is you drive it to your Market Snapshot landing page. We give you the ability to create these landing pages for free. And you can use these in a variety of different places, and you can customize them, how you see fit. And this is a landing page that you take that ad, you drive it to this landing page, someone fills this out, you capture them as a new lead, they get a Market Snapshot report from you answering that exact question. So this isn't you're not offering something of value. I am willing to give you my name and email address if I'm going to get something of value back. If I'm not going to get something of value back, I'm not willing to do that. And that's consumer behavior. I'm not the only one. I'm sure, for many of you online, you're like, Keith, that's the truth, right? I'm not going to give my name and email address if I don't feel I'm going to get something back that's valuable. So this is, strategy one, leverage Facebook, push it to a landing page. The landing page topic in general, you can use this landing page how you see fit. Facebook is only one way, but there's many other ways that you can leverage Facebook, this landing page. A common one is, I've seen it many, many times, and some of you probably have it here, is you go buy like a domain name and attach it to, the landing page, like, hey, DallasHomeValues, .com or something like that. I'm just using an example. So, and again, if you're just joining, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I will pause throughout and answer those questions. All right, perfect. So that's strategy one, Facebook. All right, I'm going to go back to this and like this. All right. And I'm just going to double check, make sure there's no questions. Awesome. Okay. Next one is, add a widget to your website. And it may be not just, your top producer website, just to any website, right? Add a way to capture, make sure that people know on your website that there's information available about how the market is doing, how much homes are selling for, and show that. We know that people are interested. We know that this question about how's the market is a top of mind for everybody, and probably even more so in today's market, right? And there's nothing more important than understanding how the market is doing and just keeping myself informed. So that is a really important thing. So one is the landing page. Two is add a widget to your website, right? And we have all different types of sorry, 1 second here. We have all different types of landing pages, right, that you can create. I showed you the one landing page. Did you also know that with your subscription that you can actually, I'm going to show you guys this, you can actually create a single property listing site. So let's say you have a new listing. You can create a single property landing page for that listing that you have, and you could have a Market Snapshot widget right here, right? And you can capture them that way. So you have your listing, you're promoting your listing, and you can have that as a capture. We also have other widgets that you can attach to your website, like the one I showed you before. So again, don't just leverage it in Facebook, put it on your website. Let people, visitors to your website, know that you offer this information. So that's strategy number 2. Okay. Let's go back to number 3 here. So one thing also is make sure like you're setting people up on Market Snapshot, okay? You have a big database. Market Snapshot is extremely valuable to a large audience. And one thing for sure is if you're capturing new leads, maybe some of you, you get leads from, the portals, you get leads from this service, you get leads from this other service, et cetera, et cetera. I won't go into this. We can talk about all the places you can get leads from. But the one thing you can also do is as those leads come into Top Producer, so if a little tip, Top Producer integrates with like 150 plus third-party lead sources. Okay? Which means that if you have a third party that you're getting leads from, the likelihood of you being able to connect that with your Top Producer account is extremely likely. Okay? What that means is when you do that, those leads from those sources are going to auto-populate your CRM. What you can do then is make sure that you're using Snapshot as a way to educate, and inform people of what's going on. Like it is the best follow-up tool you have because we talked about it. It has an open rate of like 25%. I hear it, hear the topic all the time about what's the best drip campaign. The best drip campaign is one that's valuable to the consumer, right? Like who remember who your audience is. It's the consumer. And the best drip campaign is the one that they're actually going to engage with. And there's a reason that Market Snapshot has such a high open rate because it's valuable to the consumer. It's valuable to the recipient. It's not valuable to you, right? And it's valuable to you in the sense that it's valuable to them. And I think that's how you always have to look at it is once you have somebody set up, it's just happening for you. You set somebody up on Market Snapshot and it just goes out forever. Every month by default, goes up to the MLS, grabs all the recent data, sends it out to your consumer and keeps them informed. And it positions you as, the expert. So it's another one. Make sure you're sending it to everybody. Okay. And then another one. I just want to pause for a minute. I've been going going a bit here. Is there any questions about what we covered so far before we go into open house? Going to pause. If you have any questions, please, type it in the chat. I'm just going to pause. I'm just watching the chat here. Looks like I don't see any questions so far. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to also, another tip is open houses. And I know the world of open houses probably changed a little bit, in this new environment. But one thing is I still think they're happening. They might be happening a little bit differently. But one thing I just want to bring up, if you didn't know this, another thing we offer is an open house sign-in sheet. And the idea is, when you think about who comes to open houses, it's interested, buyers, but it's also people in the neighborhood, right? And so what could happen is if you use something we call Bright Open, okay, which is our open house kind of little widget, you could have this available on your iPad or something like that, where as people come in, have them sign in. They put down their name, their phone, their email address. What happens is you will capture them as a lead. But what will also happen is they will get a market report for the neighborhood of the open house. So imagine, let's just talk about that a little bit more. Let me kind of put it in a different way. You have an open house. We know that people from the neighborhood, will come to the open house. Like my wife will go to an open house because she just wants to see like, oh, that house is very similar to ours. Like, that's just the way it works. And people go to open houses. But now you're able to capture that person and provide them something of value because the neighborhood that they live in could be the one that you're holding an open house. And now they're getting that relevant, valuable information from you. So that's another way, a great follow-up for open houses is Market Snapshot, which is, someone's going to go to an open house in that neighborhood because they're interested in that area, or they might be already living in that neighborhood, that area. Why not provide them a report that keeps them informed on what's going on in that area? Okay, so Terry asks, is Market Snapshot available in Toronto yet? Terry, I wish I had a better answer for you. It is not available in Toronto yet. We are continually to have conversations with the Toronto Real Estate Board on this. So, but at this stage, not available. I apologize. Okay, so we talked about Facebook. We talked about your website. We've talked about putting it on all leads. We've talked about open houses. Last one is, and I don't want to talk about this as just putting your signature. Don't hide it. Okay, so the strategy really should be is we all can agree that the information that Market Snapshot provides consumers, whether they're just starting their home, getting interested in real estate, whether they are a homeowner, whether they're in the market, they're not in the market, it's valuable to all. And the big thing is your job is to let people know you have this, right? Because what's the value for you? The value is this: the more people you have on Market Snapshot, the more people you now have getting automated follow-up from you on a monthly basis. That's super valuable. That has a potentially up to a 25% open rate, right? That's the value. Because how many of you watching right now have leads? Okay, you've gotten leads where they're not doing anything for 12 months, 24 months. I'm sure for all of you, for a lot of you, you probably have those people right now. Because they're so long-term, what's the best way to stay in touch with them? Something like Market Snapshot. Provide them something of value that's about real estate that they will find interesting, that they will likely engage with. So that's kind of like the opportunity you have, is that, right? And so like the idea of like putting it in your signature, yeah, that's an easy one, but there's so many other ways, right? that you could do it. And I want to hear from you watching. What are some of the interesting ways that you've been promoting Market Snapshot, if you don't mind sharing? I would love to hear from you. But the idea with Market Snapshot is don't hide it, flaunt it, right? I think that's like the biggest thing, is let people know you have this and this information is available. And you can dangle that carrot. How much is my home worth? How is the market? Those are some pretty important questions. And then one thing I also want to add with Market Snapshot, just while we're all on the topic of Market Snapshot. So one of the biggest things that we've changed, right, if you're new and maybe haven't seen it yet, is inside Top Producer. So, within the TPX ecosystem, which is the newest Top Producer interface, we've made some substantial improvements on bringing Market Snapshot into the single experience of Top Producer. And I just want to recap a couple of the big things that you get for those of you that are new. First off, one of the big things I just want to recap some of the big improvements is, all your snapshot reports now are contained within Top Producer. So you can quickly go into a contact, look at all the reports you have. You can also look at all the insights. When's the last time, how many clicks, how many opens, how many times they looked at the report. All those insights now are contained within Top Producer. And then we also just launched, within the last couple of weeks, we added the new snapshot report right on the main nav here, where you can see all of your market snapshots. Okay, and you can you can quickly find who's viewed them, who's not, and allows you to follow up with people. So just look, we've spent a lot of time really improving Market Snapshot and bringing it into the Top Producer, the new Top Producer CRM. It's really part of it now, and it's never been easier to really leverage Market Snapshot with your contacts. So I want to pause here. There's a question. Jerry asked, can I call in as a video for more instruction on sending the landing page that you mentioned earlier? Jerry, I would just give our team a quick call, and they would be more than happy to assist you on setting up those landing pages and walking you through that. Yeah. I think that's the easiest. So what we like to do, I came prepared with the content around, around Market Snapshot. What we like to do at the end of these is turn the the session over to you, the viewers. So if you have any questions related to Top Producer, Market Snapshot, anything, this is your chance. So I want to hear from you. And so any topic relevant to the content I presented earlier, or relevant to Top Producer, this is your chance to get those questions answered. One thing I also wanted to give people a quick update on, we've heard from a few of you regarding an issue with how email tracking was working within Top Producer X. And I'm just happy to let everyone know that we addressed, there was an issue with email tracking not tracking correctly. And I wanted to let you know we published an update last night, or a fix last night, that addressed the email tracking within Top Producer X, where emails will now properly show which ones have been opened, which ones have not been opened, and then which ones your clients have responded to. So for those of you watching who reported this bug to us, I just want to thank you, and I also wanted to quickly let everyone know that it has been fixed as of last night. So what I'm going to do is just pause here and see if there's any questions. This is the open Q&A part where you, the viewers, can ask the questions. If you have any questions, just type them into the chat. Anything you want to know about Top Producer, anything about the new version, this is your chance. So Richard asked, we need a field on landing pages for phone numbers. When is that going to be added? Oh, you know what? So thank you, Richard. That's a great question. Let me take that one back. So, Richard, the answer to that one, let me take that one back and find out for you. We'll follow up with you, or have a member of our team follow up with you. I do not have an answer on that one. So I can find out, though, and we will get back to you on that one. Question was, have there been any updates to TP website that you use to CM currently, and would love to have it all in one place? We do have obviously the new modern inner design. I'm just going to go to mine really quickly. So I don't know if there's a specific ask about an update, but we did update our websites quite a while ago. This is what they look like now. They're all like mobile responsive, really focused on the mobile experience. If you want to learn more about our websites or get a much more in-depth demo, feel free to reach out to our team. Maybe Christine, if you could post the main phone number in the chat, that would be great. Or I could also have someone follow up with you if you want, whichever way you want. But great questions. All right, what else can I answer for you around Top Producer? And one thing, while the chat's coming in, one thing that I would like to ask your favor on, let me switch back. All right, so one thing I would also love to ask you, the viewers, if you really love what we're doing at Top Producer, the best thing you can do for us is give us a review. I would be super grateful. We would be grateful. And, yeah, one thing, and Christine will post the link in the chat in there. So where you guys can leave us a review. I would appreciate it. So let's see. So a couple of questions here. A question about ADA compliant. I don't want to say they're ADA compliant. I will say we've done a lot of work toward, because compliance is not the right word. We've done a lot of work towards like just, the ADA kind of workflows. So Annabelle, I don't want to say yes to ADA compliance. Just know that we've done a lot of work on that's required for that. Question is, how much are the websites? The best thing to do, Jerry, is just give our team a quick call, and they can look at your account and look at what package we have a bunch of different packages available, and they can look at what you currently have and look at available packages. So it really depends on kind of your product suite, but they typically range depending on if you look on our website right now, I think you can upgrade to a bundle that includes a website for $10 a month. So super. Great questions. And yeah, and also, again, if you guys can leave us a review online, we appreciate it. Like you, a lot of our business comes from word of mouth and what others say about us, similar to you. So if you can do that favor for us, we would be super grateful. The last thing too is, stay tuned. Look, we have a lot coming down the road. We are constantly releasing updates, improving things. We have some really big updates coming very, very soon. If you a couple of weeks ago, we teased a video of the new transaction section in Top Producer and the new task plans. Those are coming along really nicely. We do expect to start QA very, very soon. So in the next couple of weeks, you will definitely have a session from me where we go through all the new stuff related to transactions and task plans. At the same time, give us your feedback. The one thing that is super important to us is we want to hear from you. And one of the ways we can do that, if you don't know, is within the Top Producer system. What you can do is there's a feedback button right here. And a lot of our stuff, like, for example, the fixes that we just launched with the email tracking, that came from you, the users. We want to hear from you. We want to know how we're doing. And we want to hear things we can do better. And that's how we're all going to get there together. This is not about us. This is about all of us. And it's about you, our customers, making sure that we're delivering a really awesome tool to help you in your business. So, one thing I will say, we'd love for you to leave us a review online. Another thing, we want to hear from you in terms of feedback about the product. So if there's something we can do better or an area we can improve, give us very real clear feedback on what we can do better. We do listen. And I'm sure many of you that have attended these sessions, for a long time, know that we act on the feedback as well. I can't promise we're going to do everything, but please, submit that feedback. That being said, if there's no other questions, we can wrap up this week's webinar. Again, if you have questions, need help, the best thing to do, you can reach out to us on phone. You can reach out to us on email. We have live chat available on our website. We have live chat available in the product. That we are here for you. We want to support you. And thank you for taking, the time today to join me for this half an hour. I hope you learned something, one or two things that you can take and apply in your business around Market Snapshot. And I wish everyone an awesome rest of your week. Thank you.